Hey guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So hopefully, those that have been following the channel recognize this beautiful, sweet face on the screen. This is little Tommy Valva, and his father's sentencing is coming up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in Riverhead, New York. And we're hoping he gets life, although we don't know until tomorrow. But before we get into today's topic, I always like to feature a missing persons poster on the channel. So let me pull up today's missing persons poster. Today's missing person is another missing out of Memphis, Tennessee. There have been a lot of missing kids out of Memphis lately. I don't know what's going on in Memphis, but I think I'm going to have to look into that. And if anybody would like to help me gather that information with Memphis or any other area, please let me know in the comments or drop me an email. I would love some assistance on gathering some missings from some of these areas, and we can do some videos on Memphis and whatever cities and states we can do. But this one here is Satoria Kidd. She's 17 years old. She's a black female, black hair, brown eyes, 5'1", 200 pounds. Looks like she was last seen with gray pants, a tan shirt with a heart logo on it. She's missing from 1800 Downing Street in Memphis, Tennessee. She's been missing since Tuesday, which is 12/6. It states victim left home on foot without permission and has not returned. So they're asking if you have any information on this young 17-year-old, please contact the Memphis Police Department you can contact the Missing Persons Bureau at 901-636-4479, or you can always call 901-545-COPS, which is 2677. Again, if you have any information on Satoria Kidd, please contact the Memphis Police Department. So, like I said, tomorrow morning is the sentencing of Michael Valva, the father of little Thomas Valva, who was brutally unalived on January 17th of 2020. So his mother has done a post on her Facebook page. She posts quite a bit, and if you guys are interested in following her, you can here. She does have her page open for follows, so if you would like to follow the case and read her posts, that's definitely welcome. She's asking for this post in particular to be read and shared, so I'm going to go over as much of it as I can, and I'm going to link to it so you guys can check it out. And she's referencing the patch, an article from the patch, so we're going to go over that as well. She's stating, "Dear friends, with the sentencing date scheduled for tomorrow, December 8th, 2022, in the criminal case People versus Michael Valva, pertaining to the brutal unaliving of my 8-year-old son Tommy, and horrific SA physical and mental abuse of Tommy and his brothers, Anthony and Andrew, by Michael Valva, Angela Polina, and other SA predators involved by them, I want to share with you a few concerning facts regarding this matter. We have become aware of some concerning statements issued by Valva's attorney to one of the media outlets regarding this case. According to the article from Patch, dated 11/29/2022, Michael Valva's attorney, John Laturco, stated that his client, Michael Valva, faces a minimum of 15 years to life and a maximum of 25 years to life, and they will be filing a notice of appeal after sentencing. Now, I'm going to read that real quickly, but she's stating it's obvious that Valva's attorney Laturco is purposely trying to mislead the public and provide inaccurate information related to Valva's prison sentence. Almost all media outlets, CBS 2, NBC News 12, Independent Co UK, Fox5NewYork.com, including Newsday, that covered this criminal trial since day one, have been similarly stating that Valva is facing a minimum of 25 years to life in jail. Therefore, it is highly upsetting that Laturco is purposely shortening his client's prison sentence by 10 years for the purpose of creating a mental note in the public's perception. In this case, that his client, Michael Valva, receives anything above 15 years, then we should all be satisfied with that decision because Valva will be serving more than a minimum sentence, and the justice will be served. How distorted and full of desperate attempts are Valva's team plans to ensure the most beneficial sentencing outcome for the brutal unaliver and sadistic abuser Michael Valva. Despite the fact that our family, the public, and the jury panel unfortunately have been shown those aforementioned disturbing tactics implemented by Valva's team during Valva's criminal trial, our Almighty God and Holy Mary served justice, and the glory of God was revealed to all of us. The jury panel was not swayed by those manipulative, partial, and deprived transparency tactics exposed by Valva's team. The criminal trial concluded with jury finding Michael Valva guilty on all counts, including the second-degree unaliving of my son Tommy with deprived indifference to human life and endangering the welfare of Anthony and Tommy. Okay, so she's correct. Let me go and reference the patch. So here is the article from the patch. Attorneys for ex-NYPD officer Valva plan to appeal after sentencing. Attorneys for Michael Valva, convicted of second-degree unaliving in the death of his son Thomas 8, plan to file a notice of appeal. So this was posted on Tuesday, November 29th at 5:05 p.m. It looks like it was updated a few minutes after that. There's the monster right there. Riverhead, New York. Attorneys for Michael Valva, who was convicted earlier this month of second-degree unaliving and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child for the death of his 8-year-old son Thomas, who froze to death in his father's garage in 2020, said they will file an appeal after sentencing. Valva is set to be sentenced December 8th. While no sentencing report has yet been issued, John Laturco, Valva's attorney, said he faces a minimum of 15 years to life and a maximum of 25 years to life. We will be filing a notice of appeal after sentencing, Laturco said. Yeah, that's false. I'm glad that she brought this up. I really, really am. And he's not mistaken. He's just not saying, oh, I forgot, or I don't know. He's too smart for that. Come on. I agree with her. It's a tactic, and it's a bunch of BS. It truly, truly is. It's 25 years to life. Laturco, get it right. Valva, along with his then fiancée, Angela Polina, who will have a separate trial, were arrested January 24th, 2020, and charged with second-degree unaliving and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Each faces 25 years to life in prison when sentenced. Again, Laturco, let's go over the numbers here. It's 25, not 10 or 15, 25 years to life. That's what your client is going for tomorrow. And we're hoping for the end up. We're hoping for the life part there. But no, it's not 15 years, Laturco. It's 25 years to life. Please get your facts straight. Jury selection for Polina's trial is slated for February. Earlier this month, the courtroom was hushed as the jury filed in after just a day of deliberations in a trial that spanned close to 2 months. Jurors heard emotional testimony from teachers, administrators, and others who painted a picture of Thomas and his older brother, both with autism, living in a house of horrors, according to Suffolk Assistant County District Attorney Carrie Ann Kelly. Both Valva and Polina had pleaded not guilty. The jury has spoken, said Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Turney, of the verdict in the Valva trial. Obviously, we're gratified and we thank them for their careful attention and their diligence of what could not have been an easy case. Although we are gratified by the result, this does not change our focus. He added, this case is not over. This case will continue and we will continue to seek justice. He will be held responsible for his actions. What happened in this courtroom does not change the unbelievable tragedy of this case, but thanks in large part to the great work of our DA's office and our police department working together, we can give Thomas and Anthony Valva a small measure of justice. Defense attorney Laturco also reflected after the verdict. We're disappointed by the verdict, but it's not unexpected. We understand the emotional appeal of this case, and it was a very difficult case to try, exceptionally challenging for us and especially challenging for the jury. We understand why they could come back with such a verdict against Michael Valva. Laturco added, we'll continue to fight on. Michael Valva, no matter what the verdict was, will be battling his demons for the rest of his life. That I agree with, Laturco. Laturco added that when he and the team took on the case, no others would. They were appointed when Valva was unrepresented. In our country, every person needs an attorney, no matter how egregious and heinous the charges filed against them. That's why we took this case on, he said. He said they faced a significant amount of evidence against Michael Valva. When asked for Valva's reaction, Laturco said he apologized for not coming through for him. He actually said he understood, he said. Defense attorney Anthony LaPinta also spoke. The process, he said, is about advocates stepping up and making the system work with checks and balances. We proudly stand here defending the rights of an accused, Mr. Valva, and we are proudly going to leave with our heads up, working very hard to protect even his rights here. So those that condemn because of the facts of the case, that's your issue, not ours, said LaPinta. Okay, so the rest of it just kind of going over deliberations and the case itself. So I'm going to be linking to this as well, so you guys can read the rest of it if you would like. So let me get back to, Justina's statement here. As I wrote you before in my prior Facebook post, this was not a full justice due to the fact that Suffolk County DA failed to charge Michael Valva for his horrific crimes in regards to the SA abuse and trafficking of all three of my children by him. Paulina and other high, powerful position SA abusers involved by them, as well as Valva, were never criminally charged by the Suffolk County DA for the crimes of horrific SA, physical and mental abuse of my youngest son, Andrew. Justice in those aforementioned matters was not served yet, but we continue our prayers to our God and Holy Mary, trusting and believing that the situation will change very soon and full justice will be finally served, punishing all of my children's sadistic abusers and Tommy's unalivers to the highest extent of the law. Again, there's a whole SA component to this case and to the situation with Michael Valva and Angela Paulina. And I have yet to look into that, but just like I said, I had to get more into Angela Paulina. That's another one. It just seems like it's a snowball, and the more it goes down that hill, it just continues to collect. So this whole abuse of the kids was just one component, and it just gets worse as you go along. It truly does. As I expressed many times before, Suffolk County DA being in the possession of 100% credible evidence, video recordings from Valva and Paulina's Nest 24/7 home security system that showed Tommy's unaliving by Valva and Paulina as intentional and premeditated, failed to charge Michael Valva and Angela Paulina with first-degree unaliving under Nix-Mary's law to ensure that those two brutal, dangerous, sadistic, evil, and unpredictable unalivers and abusers of my children are punished to the highest extent of the law and spend the rest of their lives in jail without possibility of parole. This is the only option that will ensure the safety of my children and prevent any harm to Tommy's brothers and other children. Moreover, in my prior Facebook posts, I provided you with many supporting details in regards to this matter that clearly built a strong, undeniable foundation for first-degree unaliving charge. First of all, in the medical report created by Dr. Michael Volpe on 1/17/2020, we read, suspect intracranial hemorrhage as an epitome of an arrest, patient with aforementioned hematoma, no other definite signs of trauma. This was a very important piece of information because it prompted our further research in regards to signs of intracranial bleeding. We found out that intracranial bleeding symptoms, among others, include nausea and vomiting, numbness or paralysis of face, arms, or legs. We remembered that Suffolk County DA findings indicated Tommy could not stand on his feet but kept falling down. Next, we read the medical report written by the paramedic, Miss Lambert, who was the first one responding to Valva's 911 call. In her report, among other crucial information, we read, patient smelled of vomit. No vomit found at the scene. This further confirmed our investigation that Valva, with the assistance of Polina, inflicted a final deadly blow to Tommy's forehead, causing Tommy's intracranial bleeding that further made him vomit. The paralysis to his legs deprived him from the ability to walk. The intracranial hemorrhage created life-threatening irreversible damages to Tommy's health that in their end resulted in Tommy's tragic death. Valva, seeing the consequences of his criminal actions against my son Tommy, decided to complete his evil, horrific, premeditated intent of unaliving my son by forcing his hand over Tommy's mouth, and while cursing Tommy, he suffocated him without any remorse. Yeah, she believes there's, more to his unaliving than even the state has presented to the jury. Suffolk County DA failed to charge Valva and Polina with first-degree unaliving because too many high, powerful position SA predators involved in horrific SA abuse and trafficking of all three of my children would have to be arrested for their heinous crimes. The Suffolk County pedophile ring that also includes the individuals who were sworn to fulfill their lawful duties of protecting the children would have to be exposed and charged with federal crimes. That task was too much for the Suffolk County DA to handle. It was easier and safer for them to, among other unlawful actions, hide and tamper with the existing credible video recording evidence by claiming that they magically erased, then served full justice upon Tommy, his brothers, and our family. There's only one truth of what happened to my children, and with God's grace, it will be known to everyone sooner or later. Again, she's blaming that the Polina or Valva did not mess with the recordings, that was someone else. And obviously you guys can read between the lines there. The names of those horrific SA pedophiles are not only known to our Almighty God and Holy Mary. At last, in reference to the other statement made by Valva's attorney, Laturco, in the Patch article in regards to filing a notice of appeal after Valva's sentencing, it is apparent that Laturco's concerning tactics are also implemented to have Valva's criminal case placed in the most beneficial position for future appeal process that Valva's team is hoping to achieve by decreasing the severity and brutality of Valva's horrific crimes. The same situation pertains to Angela Polina and her defense team. Those concerning mind-shaping tactics targeting public viewings and opinions regarding this case in direction beneficial for the brutal unaliving of Tommy and sadistic abusers of all of my children, Valva and Polina, by their teams, are extensive in this case. And I hope everyone can see this as clear and straightforward manipulation and deception. Concerning is also the fact that Laturco, and to my understanding, LaPinta and Capone will continue to represent Valva in the appeals process, despite the fact that their involvement in this case should be ceased after the criminal trial was over because the great amount of taxpayers' money was used to pay for their legal fees. I can assure you that no other indigent inmate in the entire country is entitled to receive the legal representation of 3 18B attorneys for free. Only the privileged Michael Valva unlawfully received that gift. That'd be interesting to look into, huh, guys? The law states that an inmate is entitled to 1 free 18B attorney, not 3 18B attorneys who work in 3 different law firms. We should all be provided with the proof showing how much money all those 3 attorneys received from the Suffolk County and the New York State for representing the unaliver of my son Tommy. And as you all know, that appeal process will require even more financial burden on behalf of all taxpayers if Valva's attorneys will continue their representation. More importantly, as I wrote you many times in my prior Facebook posts and provided you with the evidence of Valva and Polina's joint Chase bank account statements from 2017 until March 2019, showing skyrocketing deposits totaling up to almost $1 million. It's obvious that Valva and Polina are extremely wealthy and have money to hire private attorneys to represent them. The financial investigation in regards to those aforementioned deposits on Valva and Polina's Chase bank accounts has not been conducted till this day by the Suffolk County DA, despite my multiple requests, because that money comes from the SA abuse and trafficking of all of my 3 children by Valva, Polina, and other very high powerful position SA predators involved by them. Suffolk County DA knows who they are, but chose to unlawfully protect them instead of prosecute them to the highest extent of the law. That is sick. At last, I would be extremely grateful if you please keep our family in your prayers, especially on the sentencing date, which is tomorrow, December 8th. Our family prays that Michael Valva receives tomorrow in the court the highest punishment for his horrific crimes against my children involving life sentence without possibility of parole in order to ensure that justice will be served and my children as well as other potential victims will be protected from this sadistic and highly dangerous unaliver and abuser. Michael Valva, together with Angela Polina, brutally unalived my 8-year-old son Tommy and subjected him as well as his 2 brothers to years of sadistic SA, physical and mental abuse, inhumane tortures, and close to death starvation. The life sentence without possibility of parole compensates only for a small portion of serving justice upon Michael Valva and Angela Polina compared to the gravity of their heinous crimes against my children. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for your continuous prayers and support. May God and Holy Mary bless you and your families. So, like I said, there's a lot more to this case than the horrible stuff that we already know. And it's really sad that that's the way it is. And this boy right here, this face is why I'm doing these videos. And I want to make sure he gets justice. And the fact that we only have Suffolk County, Long Island, that part, and maybe the state of New York, seeing the story, this case of the unaliving of this beautiful face on the screen, and the abuse of his brothers is horrific. The country should know. I mean, everyone needs to know what is going on and what this ex-NYPD cop and his ex-fiance has done. And if this trafficking SA allegations can be proved, which I believe Justina, because she would have the proof, that also needs to be brought to light. No one should be allowed to abuse a child, period. Then, of course, we have a whole CPS situation. It's another CPS situation. There's tons of them, like I told you guys. And then, of course, the judge who gave Michael custody of his boys. So there's so much more to this case, like I said. And every time I cover it, I'm only covering a bit of it. Every time I do a video, I just feel like I'm making just a dent in the gravity of this case. And we need to bring the truth out of what truly happened to Tommy and his brothers. The truth needs to come out, and I'm right with Justina. I believe the truth's going to come out. It may take the time, but these criminals should not be able to hide behind titles or whatever it is they're hiding themselves behind. If they're politicians or whatever they are, they shouldn't be able to hide behind that. If you hurt a child, you SA a child, you do any of that stuff, you need to be held accountable for it. It's sick. So I'm going to be covering tomorrow morning. I'll be working, but I'm going to, as soon as we hear the verdict, well, not the verdict, rather, excuse me, as soon as we get the sentencing information for Michael Valva, I will post it, and I'll be doing a video tomorrow on it, and I will let you guys know. And I'm praying that he gets life without the possibility of parole. I'm right there with Justina and the family on this one. And then we got up, next on deck is Angela Polina. And I'm going to be looking more into this SA trafficking stuff, guys. And anybody wants to help me look into this stuff, and please let me know. It's, like I said, it's a big, big situation. And I don't know how far I can dig from Florida, but I'm willing to do my part. But anybody in New York and anybody that's got any information, please let me know. You can drop me an email. My email's in the information of every single video, and or drop me a comment, and I will connect by email or on Facebook. I want to thank you guys for checking out the video today. if you hit that like button on the way out, helps the video get some more traction on YouTube, helps Thomas's name get out there, and helps everybody see what's truly going on in Suffolk County, New York with this case. Have a great night, you guys, and most of all, stay safe.